The number of Ukrainian female officers in the army has increased dramatically. But how about women's situation in general? How does the war affect them? And what conclusions and the most important solutions can we draw from it?
The Solutions from Ukraine podcast is brought to you by the Rubryka media outlet. My name is Vladyslav Faraponov. I am the co-host of this podcast. And before we start, let me remind you that you can support us at Patreon, at patreon.com/Rubryka. After you join us at Patreon, you'll be able to send us questions that we address in the podcast, and you can also get our exclusive merch with solutions and, of course, Ukraine. So let me introduce Anastasia Rudenko, Rubryka's chief editor. Hello, Nastya.
Hello, Vlad and our listeners. Glad to be back. Indeed, Rubryka pays a lot of attention to such issues, and women show, from one side, great courage. As I mentioned already, many of them have volunteered or joined the armed forces, but, well, more on that later. And from the other side, women are one of the most vulnerable groups in war, especially who are single, raising small children or caring for sick relatives. And due to the war, many of them lost their homes, and because of economic consequences, economic situation, jobs too.
So basically, tell us, Nastya, how does Ukrainian civil society help those women, and what kind of solutions did they manage to find for themselves, and what examples they also set for others?
We have reported really about a lot of cases. For example, we reported about the Woman for Woman platform, and we would like to share about it too. The organization was created 3 years ago by the Lviv non-governmental organization Center of Women's Perspectives to help women who find themselves in crisis life circumstances. This initiative collects and publishes the stories of women in need of support, seeking donors for assistance. So Marta Chumala, deputy head of the Women's Perspectives Center, told our journalist how the initiative developed its work during the war.
Yeah, so more and more women who felt empowered to extend a helping hand to those in need, they began to join the initiative. And it was not only about financial support, they also helped with clothes, some basic products, some services, such as tutoring and others. And we should also keep in mind that after the relocation, after the evacuation, even within Ukraine, many people, including women, were kind of forced to start from scratch. And obviously, when the full-scale invasion began, the number of requests increased tenfold. And if earlier this organization completed several requests in a week, and in comparison to the pre-war time, now they have implemented hundreds of requests, even during the short period of time. So let's talk about how does the initiative really work. How does it really function?
So about today. Today, the initiative is focused on helping the most vulnerable, single women with children who have been displaced or live in the frontline zones. Of course, now the whole Ukraine is like frontline zones, but we have Donetsk, Kharkiv, Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Mykolaiv regions, and there are their target regions. For all of them, the platform offers simple and direct support tools, financial assistance like buying groceries and medicines, ordering services, and searching for treatment options. Many requests are also fulfilled behind the skins without even getting to the platform. So it is about very elementary, down-to-earth needs.
Yeah, and also the Women for Women project, they were able to collect more than 2 million hryvnias, around $50,000, to help around 1,500 Ukrainian women. And like in Ukraine, we usually call it a network when basically one-time help develops into a more extended interaction, and people are about to get in touch, and sometimes people become really close. And the initiative's employees, they started to visit women and help them, especially with their children. And in turn, those who have been given the opportunity to get back on their feet faster than the others, they also began to help others who are in trouble, to take care of the older ladies who live nearby, or to send children's clothes and stuff like that. And we are reporting about this stuff because it was and it is the way how the situation was developing, and especially during such dark time as the war, especially in the time of blackouts, in the first days of the war. Those initiatives that help others, they really are the small light in this dark tunnel.
And this case is really about a cooperation between different organizations. In this issue, I think it is like inevitable. So the Women for Women initiatives sometimes also attract support from other institutions. For example, this was the case with the Lesia Ukrainka theater in Lviv. And this theater organized an exhibition of this famous Ukrainian poet, famous woman, her portraits in various stylizations, and then a large auction. And proceeds were sent to women whose stories were published on the site. Also, for example, in January this year, the also like famous store of Siswai with Ukraine-made clothes placed information stands with QR codes of stories and a call to help women who find themselves in crisis circumstances. This took place within the framework of the campaign She Needs Help, carried out by the Zmina Center for Human Rights and Center of Women's Perspectives, together with the multi-brand platform. And in Ukraine, it works like then if you see that something in your bubble, you do everything you can to make it bigger and stronger.
Yeah, of course we'll post the link about this case in the description of the episode, and also you can find more such stories on our website. And basically, let's talk more about another approach, another important contribution that Ukrainian women make, including those abroad, because I understand that among around 7 million Ukrainians who have left the country. At least half of them, or the vast majority of this number, is basically women. And let's talk more about some cases of support to Ukraine, which was also highlighted in foreign countries.
So at Cannes, where famous movies are presented, Ukrainians have also gained a lot of attention. A Ukrainian woman, Ilona Chernobyl, caused quite the scene by creating a self-inflicted bloodbath right on the Cannes Film Festival red carpet.
Yeah, and if we really think about what kind of attention she wanted to grab, and basically what did she want to accomplish, is that this way, of course, they put a demonstration in support of Ukraine, and the Ukrainian fitness trainer put together a demonstration in support of Ukraine, and she arrived at the event basically wearing a dress that features the colors of the Ukrainian flag. And for that woman that we are talking about, for Ilona Chernobyl, of course, the war is a part of life since she's from Kramatorsk, close to the front lines, and the city of Kramatorsk is one of the few in the eastern part of Ukraine, which was under constant attack from Russians, and also it is a connection point for those who are going to the front line.
Yeah, of course. And at the Cannes Festival, there are people from different countries: Great Britain, Spain, Poland, Germany, Spain. And imagine that you can come and be killed for your country's flag. Ukrainians do not need to imagine. That's our reality. They are exposed to danger every hour, not only for the flag's presence, but even for a simple conversation in the Ukrainian language. And the main task was to show that Ukraine does not give up its territories and people. We know that people are waiting for us in Donetsk, Luhansk, and Yalta, despite any myths of Russian propaganda that woman commented on her action.
In April, Ukrainians arranged a demonstration near the White House in Washington, D.C., and it was done by the charitable organization U.S. Ukraine Activists. And the idea of the demonstration was to dedicate this rally to the tragedy that Russians arranged in Bucha, in Kiev region, in the spring of last year. And of course, those who have fallen at this land forever, like those people have relatives and friends, and now in particular the Ukrainian women are also making everything possible to make the case about bringing those perpetrators to justice, and the participants of this demonstration are close to the White House. They called on the U.S. administration to recognize Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, and support the creation of the special tribunal for Russia, which is highly supported by the European partners of Ukraine. And those in Ukraine may think this kind of demonstration is not relevant or does not make any difference, but we should understand that it is mostly Ukrainian women who organize such kind of events abroad. And by organizing those events, they more or less influence the decision-making process in those countries that help Ukraine.
And there are many examples of it. We also post this in the description. The most important, in total 60,000 women serve in Ukraine's armed forces. From the first day of the war, 11,000 women on an equal footing with men stood in choirs and lines at territorial recruitment centers to join the defense of Ukraine. But still, there are problems. Still, the problem of gender provision in the Ukrainian army has existed. Even so many women serve in the army. Our defenders are still given men's uniforms and men's underwear, so women either have to tailor the uniform they are given or find something else. I know from the friends, from female friends in the army, that it is still a huge problem. And just recently, women test NATO-tailored military uniforms in Ukraine due to Civil Again initiative Arm Women now, and we have dedicated the separate episode to Ukrainian women at war. You can find this episode, Ukrainian Women Make a Difference on the Battleground, where we presented the issues Ukrainian women in the military have faced and what solutions they have developed to address them. So please discover this episode. I really highly recommend, and it is about, you need to know this about Ukrainian women. Please, you can find more episodes of the podcast at Rubryka.com or your favorite podcast provider. Solutions from Ukraine, where we discuss problems and issues from Ukraine, and also the people are doing something about them. So stay with us and remember to support us at patreon.com/Rubryka. Your support helps us produce more independent podcasting and reporting, which will result in more help for Ukraine to win this hard but important war.